Dr. Collier, what's up? Get up for Dr. MJ Collier joining us this morning, y'all. Come on.
What's up, Dr. Collier?
Good morning, Dr. MJ Collier, your family physician. Good morning, Rickey. Good morning, Brett.
Good morning.
Evil. Rock T, how you doing?
What up, Doc?
Special K and
What
Gary with the T.
Good morning.
Everybody staying healthy.
Yes, sir.
All right. Talking about the COVID-19, once again, fact versus fear. Rickey, this morning, I want to reiterate some of the things that we have talked about for listeners who might not have heard some of the earlier broadcasts, and then we're going to bring you some new information as well. First, the coronavirus, the first case in the United States was January 21st. Now we're in March, and all 50 states, including Puerto Rico and Washington, D.C., have confirmed cases. We have 6,800 rough cases and multiple deaths, over 1,000 now. The social distancing gatherings the restrictions were originally 500 people, then 250 people, then 50. Now we're down to 10. Despite the fact that we're now, months aware of this disease process, there's still no virus-specific treatment available. A vaccine is still greater than 1 year away, but they're also testing every antiviral drug that they have, including your HIV drugs, your hepatitis C drugs, everything to see if anything impacts this. They're even testing a drug that's traditionally used for malaria called chloroquine, see if it has any effect. So, we're trying everything and throwing everything at it and see
so
what
Dr. Collier, here's, and I think I asked you this yesterday, maybe it just didn't register. If you get the C19, even though you go and you get yourself where you're not coughing and all of the symptoms that come with it, you still got it even though you don't have it.
You could be an asymptomatic carrier. You could have a mild case, which is what most people do have. And, but then there's the moderate cases and the severe cases that result in death. So the death rate is going up. And Rickey, I'm sorry to say we're going to see a lot of deaths associated with this. So, be prepared for that mentally and emotionally. Just a number of people across the country, people that you don't know. But then, it's going to affect friends and family members as well. And it's going to be surprising in a lot of these cases because of the people that, young and in the prime of their lives, so to speak. We're now starting to see cases in younger people, and a few of those cases have been of the severe variety, whereas traditionally, the younger people are thinking that they're immune. They're still going out and doing the things they normally do, gathering at, coffee shops and things. So it's a problem. It is a problem. So if you had a symptom, you got sore throat, you got body aches, you have a dry cough that can become a productive cough, but it usually starts off as a dry cough. The key again is fever. If your temperature is less than 101, chances are you don't have it. But, the philosophy now from the CDC is treat everybody as if they do have it. If they present with any respiratory tract symptoms, we will consider the fact that that's probably COVID-19 and treat the symptoms appropriately. Now, I have had patients that have gone to the emergency room multiple times, and they're just being told, oh, you have COVID-19, probably. That's a presumptive diagnosis because they're not testing them. And then they say just socially isolate yourself for 14 days. They're not even getting Tylenol, for fever. They're just sending them out with no medication.
What?
So what you have, they're not treating them at all. And I say you should get symptomatic treatment because if you dry up the congestion, chances are you won't progress to the pneumonia when you're having that problem. So everybody, all your listeners need to have in their armamentarium right now, they need to have Advil, Tylenol, or Aleve.
Okay, slow down. Advil, Tylenol, or Aleve. All right, go ahead.
Okay, Mucinex DM, the anti-cough version.
All right, Mucinex DM, the anti-cough version.
And the over-the-counter version requires you to take sometimes 6 to 8 tablets per day, and people will just take 1 or 2. They're wasting their time. You have to take an appropriate dose for it to work. Okay, so make sure you follow the directions on the bottle or the box when you're taking the Mucinex. And then a non-sedating antihistamine such as Claritin, Allegra, Zyrtec, or Zylol.
That Allegra is powerful.
They are all over the counter. Allegra is very good, particularly if you have any allergy symptoms and associated with pollen. Okay, a cough syrup. One of the best cough syrups available is Delsym, Delsym. It lasts 12 hours, and it has a strong decongestant in it, so it's very good. But also Robitussin DM or something like it. Keep the product airborne. Everybody's familiar with it. They've had it around when the flu breaks out. Airborne, and then to treat all of your symptoms, a product like Theraflu would be very, very good. You put that Theraflu in a warm cup and you drink it, it makes you feel better. And then disinfection solutions, disinfect everything in your home, your keyboards. The keyboards and mouses at your workplace are probably a major contaminant, as well as if you work on a touchscreen computer, you need to wipe that off. And so Clorox bleach, use the wipes or a 10% Clorox solution. Hydrogen peroxide, which everybody has a big brown bottle sitting under their sink, and they're not even thinking about it. They have the best decontaminant there already at their home. They don't have to search for things.
So what do they do with the peroxide? Gargle with it?
They can 50-50 solution of warm water and peroxide you can gargle with, but it's also a disinfectant. You can wipe off your surfaces and to clean things with your peroxide as well. But a soap solution, the same thing that you have been using to clean your homes, any soapy solution that cleans would be fine, including just regular bar soap and water. You can do that. And then there's, cleaning products such as Lysol and Odor Band. Odor Band is very good. It kills all your pathogens, and it smells good. It doesn't smell as medicinal as some of the other products can. So you don't want your home necessarily smelling medicinal, but you might. That lets you know that you have cleaned it, and you'll feel better with that. So, again, the testing sites that testing is not readily available. The test is a nasal swab. They push a swab deep down in your nose, and then that is not a point of care test. What that means, Ricky, is like if you come to my office, I can do a strep swab on you and tell you in 2 minutes whether you have strep throat. Even if you get tested, we have to send the nasal swab away and wait for the results, which are going to take usually about 3 days. Now, what they're saying on the news now is that the labs are running out of the reagents to perform the test. So even though they're collecting tests, they can't adjudicate the test because they don't have the chemicals that are necessary to evaluate the test and do the test. So they're just kind of sitting, waiting on the chemicals to become available again. So that's where we are with this process.
Oh, and you think, and you saying it's going to get really, really worse before it gets better. When do you think it'll start to taper off a little bit?
Oh, really? Boy, if I could answer that question, I'd be playing the lottery today.
Right.
Because this data changes on literally, it was a day-to-day, then an hour-to-hour. It's changing almost on a minute-to-minute basis. But I would state unequivocally that we are nowhere near peaking. And as you see now, with all 50 states involved and people reporting multiple deaths, that this problem is on the upswing. So that's why I don't want people to get fatigued from doing the things that they need to do. They still need to wash their hands thoroughly. They say 20 seconds, I say 1 minute. You still need to stay away from sick people. If you got somebody in your life that's coughing and hacking, this is not the time to be nice. You need to isolate that person. If it is an employee of yours, you need to send them home. If it's somebody that's over you, your boss, your manager, and they're having something, you say, look, I need to work from home or you need to go home. This is not a time, for being casual and being nice. If a person is exhibiting coughing or wheezing, then
right,
they are highly symptomatic. And then, those are the key symptoms. People know when they're sick, and it's usually obvious. It's not something you have to make a guess at. It doesn't require a medical professional to determine if a person is ill. Then we want you to boost your immune system. Okay, we talked about vitamin D, omega-3 fish oils, probiotics, vitamin C, and zinc. And so these are all the things that you can do to maximize your body's ability to fight this disease state. But I had a meeting at my office with my staff yesterday because everybody is getting a little, scared, really. And because we're seeing a lot of sick people. And I explained to them, I said, look,
hold on.
Okay.
Hold that thought. I'm going to bring you over on the other side. Dr. M.J. Collier, I was so happy to have him on, giving us so much information. We got more for you. Coming up next, you don't want to miss it. Rickey Smiley Morning Show.